Well, hello guys, it's Good Lake, and we're back to Blingbound. As you can see, the next step of our journey are the lands of the Forsaken. We only dipped our toe into this zone, but now that it's the last one unfinished of the level up to 10 zones, it's about time we get to it. Most of the quests here are already grey, so we're going to be making very quick work out of everything here. Just gotta do it. What can I say about the zone, man? For some reason, I'm inclined to call it the worst of the leveling zones. But objectively speaking, that's not true, I think. Brill is a very nicely situated hub, with a metric ton of quests to all the areas surrounding it. In terms of sheer efficiency or something like XP per hour, if such a thing matters at these levels, it's probably the best, if I had to guess. Yet at the same time, why do I feel so negative? Is it because the zone is covered in undead? No, I'm not that kind of sentimental. I feel it comes down to Undercity and some of the quests here. So Undercity is a very annoying city. It has a huge, what would you call it, introductory series of tunnels that lead you to deadly elevators that then lead you to a sewer maze underneath the ruins. It feels really annoying to navigate somehow. No doubt it was set up this way for performance reasons. Not that that makes any difference to how fun the traversal is. And traverse it you shall if you are trying to complete all the quests. Because there's at least one quest in Undercity that keeps sending you to this bloody island in the middle of the area. Forward and backwards, forward and backwards. I don't know, maybe if you have the perfect route it's not so bad. But it's always felt terrible for me. It always felt like, okay, we're gonna have to do this trek. And this trek is the worst. With quests like these, maybe that's the reason that Forsaken are so crazy. Especially the players. Yes. You always thought it was the fact that they were undead creatures, corrupted by the powers of Lich King, and then breaking out of the control, fated to roam this world in monstrous forms. Nah, man, it was the Undercity elevator. Sure, in Duertar, you may have a quite lengthy swim towards the Echo Isles. But even that is a one and done deal as long as you pick up all the quests. Even Thunderbloop has elevators, but at least you can jump off of it to end your misery, so I guess it's still better. So who knows, maybe mathematically it's the best zone. But I don't like it. Speaking of not liking things, there was a comment on the previous episode that I find particularly ridiculous. And I quote, "I don't think the video needs the AI slop intro." You know, let that sink in for a moment. So, where do we even begin dismantling this absurdity? So first of all, How about we start with the fact that the video is 45 minutes long. I'm trying to make them shorter somehow. Maybe I will have been successful this time. We'll see. But it's 45 minutes. And the intro is like 10 or 15 seconds. So you have this entire 45 minutes video. And you're like, yeah, this video would be amazing if only it didn't have the first 10 seconds. Something like that. What are you even talking about, dude? You make it sound like I murdered and ate a baby in the first 10 seconds or something. Like, what the hell? I mean, I specifically added the intro, the way that I added it, to be a short, quick preview of the episode. And I specifically made it with AI, so it's different from the actual episode, so it's not like super spoilery. It just kind of gives you hints of what to expect. As far as I'm concerned, no matter how you feel about AI, this is a perfect use for AI. And this motherfucker is still like, nah, it's AI. I must complain. I must say no. What's wrong with you? If you don't like AI, then just say so. Say, I do not believe that AI should be used in creative endeavors. Something like that. Don't write utter and absurd nonsense. Okay? I don't respect people who write nonsense. You have to be at least coherent and somewhat logical with what you have to say. Otherwise, who's really the slop here? Also, wait until he figures out that the entire soundtrack for all the videos is also AI generated. That's gonna spin him for a loop. In fact, you know what? Just for you, buddy, I'm gonna make sure to add even more AI generated clips into the video. I hope you enjoy this next one. Anyway, we're just about done with Tirisfal Glades. So it's time to move on to the next area, the Silverpine Forest. I actually go there through the back door of Undercity. I only know of this back door because that's the entrance you use when you take siege of this capital during Wrath of Lich King, during the Wrathgate event, essentially. It lets you out of the city right next to the entrance to Silverpine Forest at the north, which is great. That's exactly where the first quests begin. It starts with an escort through a bunch of wargs. Now these wargs are of particular interest to us today because their hearts that they drop, at least according to my add-ons, are reporting over 30 silver a pop of a price. Now the way this add-on works is that it, on your demand, scans the auction house for all the items and stores that data, and then reports to you the latest numbers. So this price simply means that at some point I scanned the auction house and that was the cheapest warg heart available. Does that mean they're worth 30 silver? Maybe, maybe not. It could well be that some lunatic just put them up for an insane price and everything that was at a reasonable price happened to be bought out at that particular moment when I scanned the auction house. So you can't really trust these numbers. You have to verify them. Of course, you can use your knowledge and experience to guide you, but my knowledge and experience completely fails me here because, as far as I know, this is a Horde-specific item. Meaning that only really the Horde players can make use of it, realistically. there's a quest to collect them. And once you hand in the quest, I believe you get an alchemy recipe that you can use to craft some potions of questionable quality using those hearts. It doesn't seem particularly rare, so why is it expensive? Is the question you should be asking. It could be that some people are buying these so they don't have to collect them themselves and hand in the quest quickly. But would you really pay, 2 gold to complete a level 10 quest? I don't know about that. I'm sure someone would do it, but seems unlikely. I'd rather just farm them out at that point. The other possibility is that this heart, for some reason, is actually really good for alchemy leveling. Similar to a Briarthorn on the early levels, it could fill some niche where otherwise it's hard to get decent levels at reasonable consistency. But that's the thing. That recipe slots around the same slot as Briarthorn. It's like 50 to 100-ish. And no matter how you slice it, Briarthorn is just cheaper. 5 silver, maybe tops, a pop. So why would you pay 6 times the price for the same utility? No idea. I sincerely doubt it's for the potions themselves, as they're the same as just normal potions, as far as I can tell. And once again, the recipe with Briarthorn will produce the normal potions. And this extra different potion probably would just clash with people's add-ons, or for example, it doesn't show up in my weak aura because I specifically didn't code it in. So needless to say, I'm skeptical of this price, but at the same time, who knows, maybe it's real. And there's only one way to find out. We'll have to put them up on the auction house next time we're there. This next quest takes us to the Fenris Isle, home to a castle and some small army of gnolls, among other things. Undead gnolls, for what it's worth. The drop rate of the quest itself is kind of alright, but they also have another quest associated with them that comes from a drop, a talking head. Now, of course, it always depends on how lucky you are, but as far as I understand, it's a pretty rare motherfucker. It took me 20 kills to complete the Iker quest, and it took me 71 kills to actually get the head and the quest. And this is no small feat. Unlike all the other things I've been facing in the northern Silverpine so far, these guys are around my level, so they can actually kick my ass if I'm not paying attention or playing poorly. There's also actually not that many of them. As I was clearing them out in circles throughout the island, I would constantly run out of gnolls and I would have to go and start assaulting the castle, where they are truly densely packed, with respawns and patrols dotting the area. Very, very dangerous. This whole endeavor took me like 30 minutes of grinding, I think. Not something you would expect at low level, to be honest. But we got it in the end, so it's time to try to complete it.
You don't look like a rothide. Good. I had lost hope. My name is Alaric. Please, take me to my body.
I see a direct path that will put me in line of sight of a bunch of mobs, or a path behind this building. Seems to lead me directly to where I need to be.
I was once Thul's head servant and bodyguard. They buried my body near the stable in an unmarked grave.
That was dangerous. There's a whole building behind me with a door that could have easily seen me. Now that we got the whole body, he sends us all the way into the castle. I decide not to engage with the patrol and instead to go deeper in, to gain some ground here.
Wait, I remember that knoll. He used me as a football! Kick his ass!
Alright, we see a patrol right here. I'm gonna mark him so we can know where he goes. Most of the time, anyway. We snatched the patrol on the way back. Very good. Nobody's coming from behind. But the respawns are probably going to be fast, so we gotta keep moving. Especially if we're clearing all over the place. These guys are absolutely shredding me. It looks like they're a pair of dual wielders.
You know, you can always come back later. I can keep you company in the meanwhile.
That was a wee bit dangerous. Probably should have pulled back there. Doesn't look like I'll survive, so I used my life leech skull.
Wait, you mean I wasn't the only head you were carrying?
What the hell? Well, this is not good. Let's try to buy ourselves as much time as possible. Yeah, I don't think I survived this.
Bling! Bling!
There it is. Well, this gives us a very good opportunity to resurrect and engage in battle against 1v1 enemy. I have a feeling that guy is going to be a problem as well. Might as well take him out. And there you go. Quest complete.
All right, this is the place. Best of luck out there, buddy. You know where to come if you're ever lonely.
Barely made it. Okay. Oh. That Murloc didn't like that. Well, too bad, Murloc. Too bad. You're going down and I'm taking that chest. Lace male shoulder pads. Excellent. So for this next part, I'm just going around wrapping up some remaining low-level Silverpine forest quests. Not that much is going on. So let me tell you a story. A story about how I made a Twitter account. Well, actually, it's now X account. I used to have Twitter accounts, but I deleted them all for one reason or another. Anyway, the start of this year, I got really hooked on AI generation. Big surprise. It's because one of the people that I happened to be following at the time, Leaflet, reacted to a video by Skybrows, who's kind of like a pioneer of the AI video generation scene, let's call it. At that time, Leaflet was actually making a video of her own, so she shared a lot of details, techniques, that sort of thing, in her streams, which I decided to watch and learn. At first I was just making the songs, but because I saw the opportunity, I also decided to make an entire video. Just 2 minutes long, it's nothing crazy. And I thought I'd share it with her because she likes AI-generated videos. Little did I know what kind of Mission Impossible I was signing up for. So obviously I can't use Discord. That's straight out. So I decided to try the next best question mark thing, and that was X. I made an account, which was extremely difficult and required multiple computers. Just Windows 7 things. Somehow or other I managed to do it, and I make a tweet, and my account immediately gets suspended. In that very instant. An authentic account, apparently. I'm botting, guys. No, motherfucker, I'm just using Windows 7. What are you talking about? I suspect that's the reason. It could be anything, really. It could be my previous accounts that I've deleted being junking up something in my profile or whatever. Who knows? I never find out. But I appealed it. My first appeal literally just vanished. I waited like a week, no response. And you can't make an appeal while an appeal is active. Not that you would know, it's not showing anywhere. You can just try and then it will fail and it will tell you, there's already an active appeal. Just wait, bro. So I waited and then it just disappeared. So I did it again. And this time it worked. This appeal, after over a week, unsuspended my account. I got an email, hey, just don't break rules, blah, 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 blah. I'm so happy. I log into my account and it's suspended. Okay. Well, I waited for a bit and it remained suspended. So I appealed again. And it was successful again. But I was still suspended. This stupidity continued for 5.5 weeks or so. And finally, after the 6th appeal, I think, it finally came through. But at this point, it's been so long, it kind of feels embarrassing to even bring up the topic. I think at some point I even sent her an email. I was having one of those days where I just do things because I can. I think that's like, it's kind of like being drunk, but I wasn't drunk. Because I don't need to get drunk, apparently. I can just do the things that drunk people do without being drunk. My powers are limitless, apparently. Anyways, I have not received a response. She has not seen my video. I have an X account now that nobody cares about. The moral of the story, Elon Musk should not have fired that many people. He should have kept a few more people in the support team. God damn it. We approach the Pyrewood village. As I am aware, this is an elite area. Relatively lower level, though. I think around 15. I'm level 19. Think me and this guy could easily handle it. Doing quests here? Question mark? Smiley face? No answer. Anyway, this guy doesn't respond. He just attacks an enemy. Now this is a real bot, guys. I can tell, because he's not talking to me. That or he's German. Anyway, I help him dispatch this foul human. Okay? And he just fucks off, leaving me all alone in the Pyrewood village. Everyone's leaving me alone. Well, guess what? Maybe I don't need no help. I'm going to just kick my ass into victory. Take a diss, elite guys. You're not even a challenge. I may have fucked up in the Fenris, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna be taken out in every single encampment of enemies. I shall not be defeated this easily. Anyway, there's a quest in this town hall. Pyrewood Ambush. Oh god. Yeah, prepare yourself. Immediately gave me wave escort type vibes. It's not really an escort, but You're kind of just like in the same area and you're fighting wave after wave. It looks like I was right. I decide not to pull any punches from the start and put one of the opponents to sleep. Gotta make sure it's not the one she's attacking, of course, otherwise we will just screw ourselves. However, there's a big cooldown on my sleeping agent. And there's no telling how many waves we have. Oh my god, there's 3. Okay, well, because I kited that mob, I bought ourselves enough time to reuse this. And now we're fighting 3 mobs, so we're probably going to be fine if there's more. Yeah, she's a pretty good tank, honestly. I think we're not gonna have any problems. Do we have more? Yes, we have more. Of course we have more. What a silly question. I hope this is the last of them, though. Oh, shit. Forgot the hamstring, so everything's going out of control. I'm worried about potential respawns outside or some patrol that I wouldn't know of. But it looks like we're going to be just fine, baby. Excellent. And a shield upgrade. See? I can do it if I put my mind to it. This wasn't the only quest that brought me to this place. There's also a recipe for death. Now thankfully the quest informed me that he is at the inn, and I'm very familiar with human buildings. This thing to the left is definitely the inn. So as long as we take out this guy, and there's no weird patrols, which there doesn't seem to be at the back, we can sneak in. Of course we have to take out everyone inside, and that's easier said than done. This guy's strikes me as a caster, so I was prepared to switch into a shield if necessary, which was in fact necessary. Fortunately, he grabs one of the patrols with his death throws, and I am not doing so well, but I managed to net him and bandage myself, which buys me just enough HP to take him out. Tries to go bring some more mobs, but I shoot him to death. Time to go inside. Alright, I'm still worried about respawns, so I'm going straight in. Probably not the best plan, because depending on where this guy runs, it could be a total and utter disaster. Left or right? Which way? And he's going to the right. Oh, come on. Alright, well, at least I've got a bit more HP this time. I think I can handle this 1v1, but I'm going to pull him back into his room. And I use a special technique of positioning to make sure that he has no chance of escape. See, if you run up next to an enemy and like stand like right on top of them, they'll try to readjust their positioning so they're not on top of you and go back a little bit, which can shuffle them into a corner. Very good. With this, the only enemy remaining is the werewolf, and well, let's be honest, we've been kicking ass in this village. Absolutely redeemed myself. So, there we go. Quest complete. And now all I need to do is to escape. I'm not taking that chest, too dangerous. Anyway, I just jump over the wall over here. Awesome. Very cool that there's this escape hatch, and it also leads us to some debris that we can fish. Debris is pretty useful. You can get some rare materials that otherwise are hard to acquire, like leather or bolts, or sometimes even bags. So I'll fish from time to time when I have the opportunity. Anyway, we're at Gilneas. We have a target here who's patrolling at the back of the wall over there. But this entire encampment is like a massive setup to just murder you if you don't pay attention or you're not tactically approaching it. There's mobs running forward and back, patrols, all kinds of weird and wonky movements. The quest NPC goes from one side to the other. That's crazy. But in some ways that's good. It just means we get the easy opportunity to take out everything here, whatever's in the way, and then as soon as we find an opportunity, we can nab him and take him out. No problems. And if you notice here, our discolored work hearts sold. Very nice. I had put them up for the auction at 15 silver each, which is half of the price that it was reported at. And why? Well, I looked at the history, and in the history it said that the typical price it was going for was 10. And then yesterday, for some reason, it was up all the way to 50 silver. And today it's going back down to 30. Well, no need to be a genius to see that something's going on here. So I just in case, just to make sure that we make our sale, I decided to lowball it. And looks like it worked out. Now that we have this data point of it selling at 15, we can try a little bit higher as well. Who knows? Who knows what's the limit? You gotta probe and find out. That's the only way to do business. And if you probe enough and often, you'll become a auction house tycoon in no time. And you will have money or something. Hilariously, it turns out that Pyrewood had another elite quest that I didn't know about. And there's a group for it, so I whisper to the guy to see if I can join it. To see if I can join it. Maybe. No, it's not happening. You bastard. Maybe you didn't understand what I wrote. I didn't spell hay. It is what it is. I've beaten them once by myself. I can do it again. It's not a problem. I'm a man on a mission now, apparently. Let's do this. We're here. And we're ready to rumble. Can you tell that this entire video was recorded in the span of many days? I'm making a nice corpse pile here by the entrance. Pulling everything back is very important, as we don't want any pesky patrols stepping onto our toes. Although at the same time, this is technically taking longer than normal. So if we keep doing this too much instead of proceeding forward, we will end up with respawns, which is just as bad as a patrol. Oh, would you look at that? There is a party at the back of the town, after all. I'm not alone. There's a lot of people there, though. It's entirely possible the party's already full. And if that's the case, obviously, well, their presence is still something to be thankful for. They're going to take out most of the mobs for me, I'm sure, that would otherwise patrol and make this area more dangerous. So it should be a lot easier with them around, if nothing else. Let's go say hi. Oh, I didn't even manage to do that. They already reminded me. Hey. But wait a minute. Well, isn't that name familiar? Isn't that Mr. Bloodhell? More like Bloodheil. Fucking Germans. Anyway. How ridiculous. He didn't invite me, even though he had one free spot. Clearly. I had to haul my ass all the way over here and prostrate myself, essentially. Well, that won't do. That won't do at all. You need a book, Bling? Nope. Not anymore. Because I snuck in myself a little earlier. Now we're quite far behind on the quest, as you can see. Everyone's got a lot, and I'm just getting my second one right here. But don't worry. I have a veteran's trick up my sleeve. As you can see right there, I just picked up a shackle from a corpse that previously didn't have any loot. For me. How is this possible? Well, it's possible because there's multiple players in the group that have already completed the quest. So whenever it's their turn to loot, which is just, round robin, the next guy gets the loot, then the next guy, and then it starts around from the beginning. Eventually, the turn for people who have already completed the quest comes around, but the quest item can still drop from that mob. So when they try to loot the mob, what happens is that they loot everything except the quest item, because that's already full. And so the quest item remains on the corpse, now free for everyone to loot. This happens with all items, actually. If you loot a corpse but you don't pick everything up, let's say your inventory is full, then they become available for anyone in your party to pick up, and the first person to get to it gets the loot. And we can play this to our advantage. The trick is that the order of loot is actually predetermined. Every single mob that dies while being attacked by a party just continues to go in the same exact order, one after the other. So it would be me, then some other guy, then a third guy, then a fourth guy, then a fifth guy. And you can try to figure out what the order is by looking at who's looting. You kind of have to keep track of which mobs died when, and who goes to loot which mob. And you have to take into consideration that if something like a green item drops, then anyone might be able to loot it, because it's a group item, so it's complicated. Yeah, so that mob was mine. Let's take a look. There's two mobs over here, and let's see who ends up looting them. Of course, it's possible that the players are going to be lazy and they won't loot, but usually when doing quests, that's not so much the case, because they obviously want to complete the quest, so they gotta loot. This will be mob number 2. And let's see mob number 3. As you can see, Bloodhell got the loot, and this loot, I think genuinely no one looted that. So we can't quite tell who it was. But it doesn't matter, that's one character. Whoever is going to be left, we know that's number 3. So let's look who's number 4 on the list. As you can see, this loot had a green item, but you can see that, of course, Well Done was the one that received the quest item, so it was most likely his turn. Now we just need one more, and we know the full party rotation. It's Smeraldojub who was looting over there. Since I looted the 6th mob, we've looped around back to me. now we know the order. That would be me, then Bloodhell, then Totem, then, of course, Well Done, and finally the Priest. Well, this one's gonna be Bloodhiles. See, he completes the quest. And the next one is going to be Totems. So if a quest item drops, we should be... well, there you go. Somehow he had loot on that one. I don't know, maybe there was an extra mob killed off screen or something that we didn't notice. But hey, we completed the quest. Because we made use of that information. And now, even though I came in last and with least shackles, I completed it before a mage in the party. Because I paid attention. Very nice, very cool, isn't it? Of course, it doesn't matter in the end, because I'm going to stick around to help the last guy get the quest item anyways. And would you look at that? Chest! I pass. I already passed this chest once. It cannot belong for me. I think the, of course, Well Done mage is getting a little bit upset about his bad luck. It's not bad luck, motherfucker. It's me. Mr. Bloodhile has great confidence in our party, so we are absolutely pulling humongous amount of mobs. And to be fair enough, with 2 mages AoEing, that's probably the correct strategy. There's really no reason to hold back. We have a healer, we have somebody acting like a tank. Technically, I can also tank. So, let the mobs hit the floor, really. Man, this fucking mob is going to Narnia. I bet he's gonna have a quest item too. Oh no, he didn't. 10 mobs. 10 mobs I have looted, and not a single one gave me a shackle. Yeah, he's not having a good time. He's indiscriminately pulling mobs now in righteous anger. Well, I would say you live and learn, but since I did not in fact disclose this strategy to anyone, he probably will not learn. He's gonna assume the game sucks. Fair enough. 6 out of 6. Congratulations, well done. It's done. It's over. At last, I'm free. Thanks, guys. Yes, thank you very much. Let's get the hell out of here. As we're leaving the village, Mr. Totem offers a pair of bracers. But I already have pretty solid bracers. So there's no need for me to take those bracers. I can earn my money myself without any handouts. Thank you, though. Very, very nice and kind of you to do this. Occasionally, I try to offer some items to people whenever I have a drop, but, well, it's often unnecessary, especially this late into the server. Most people are alts, most people are geared, most people know what they're doing. With the final Pyrewood quest complete, I decide to wrap up the slaughtering of the old Dalren wizards. And it's time to go home. There's a few more high-level quests in the area, but as you can see, the Barrens quests are also starting to get gray. Well, that's no good. We gotta sort of start catching up in there. We haven't even done anything almost in the Barrens. That's ridiculous. Anyway, these quests are just enough to get me to level 20. That's right. And we also pick up our money from the hearts, leaving us with a considerable amount of funds to purchase everything we could possibly need from the trader. Yeah, level 20 is that level where you realize, oh, I'm starting to get a few golds. Oh, I don't have money anymore because I spent it all on training. Shit. Anyway, you've learned the ultimate technique. Dual wielding. That's right. Now I'm going around picking up all the one-handed weapon types. As you can see, my auction house list is prepped for one-handed purchases. We do not believe in the two-handed supremacy in this channel. Everyone always says it's better. Well, I don't believe them. My reasoning? Simple. Consistency. We really got to see that a little bit in Fenris Isle, where sometimes we kicked absolute ass and other times we got demolished. When you're wielding a two-handed weapon, you're just a few parries or misses away from having a very bad time. But dual wielding, well, you don't have to care at all about long strings of nothing happening because you're using two weapons and they're fast. That's way better. The more consistent you are, the more confident you're going to be when going into fights. And nothing makes the leveling experience feel more nice than feeling confident. Funny story, when I made this argument to someone in Felmus Skullcrusher in the guild chat, they got so upset they literally quit the game. They left the guild and quit the game on the spot. I think that just makes me double right. Unfortunately, the blue weapons are still too expensive, so I'm gonna buy a couple of cheap hammers temporarily to stand in until I gather enough funds to be able to get some real good shit. Yes, I know, I'm level 20 and I said I'm gonna start buying things or immediately start farming ungodly amounts of money so I can afford all the overly expensive things in the auction house. But I didn't say I would do it at the start of level 20 now, did I? Well, yes. In any case, I need to level my weapon skill again. And I think I'm gonna get Wailing Caverns out of the way, just in case we get some good loot. Will make my life a little easier. There's still some preparations I gotta make to make sure that I can make the big bucks. I've been paying attention to the auction house, so I've got some plans. If they work out, I'm gonna have money to spend for a long time. Very long time. Anyway, I'm doing a big victory lap around the Barrens now that we're back here. Mostly just picking up all kinds of fly paths in surrounding areas, handing in breadcrumbs so they don't clog my inventory. That's nice. This guy has an extra quest for no reason, and then 3 options to talk with him about beasts prowling the surrounding area. Oh no. Is this another ghost house situation? I just spawn a bunch of ferocious fiends into the area? Well, let's hope it's fine. In preparation of the next episode, I'm picking up all the quests in the Barrens, all the low-level ones anyways. We gotta get started somewhere. After all. And of course, Barrens also has Ratchet, which I'm very familiar with because the quests here are shared between Horde and Alliance. Not all quests, mind you. For example, the Chen's Keg quest is Horde specific, as is the follow-up. I think there's more, but we'll get to that. And since we're here, why not go pay a visit to the good old Booty Bay? As luck would have it, we arrive at Booty Bay exactly as the world buff is landing. So this is our first world buff, Spirit of Zandalar, woohoo! We pick up the expert fishing book, very important. And since we're here, I'm going to go and pick up the flight path. And I will also remember I'm not Alliance anymore, so I gotta go pick the Horde flight path. Right. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and next time, hopefully, we'll finally make some big purchases. Or at least make the money to do so. Look forward to that.